Okay, booleans. No one liked them, so I brought Buddha to help here. This has to do with the final output from this assignment. It can either be a shape that you can print directly or a shape that you can print as a mold. So I will do an example of something that you could print directly and of something that you could print as a mold. In this case, I already took a part of that Jesus away, a little lobotomy, by using a cube. Remember that for booleans, there are options, but I personally love to use the bool tool. That is an add-on that is edit preferences, add-ons, bool tool. If you can't find it, just go into add-ons, you see all that stuff, you type bool and you check bool tool. Why I like it? Because it makes it easier to do so much stuff. Let's say I have this one and I want to print it because I want a magnet, but I want the magnet to be like really cool, so I can sell it back to a museum. Like say, hey, you're like, why are you selling all those like crappy magnets? Especially like the ones from souvenirs. You've been living in like New England long enough to realize that you can buy so many lighthouses that say, I don't know, Gloucester, Plymouth, and they kind of suck. You can make something very special with this. But if you want a magnet that you want to be flush, you would need to know more or less the size of the magnet. Oops, showing more than I should. This magnet, nice, a ton of magnets, a ton of souvenirs. 10 by 5 millimeter. Good. It says 10 by 30. Damn AI. Let's go by 10 by 30. So you will need to create an object, a magnet, that I will do as a cylinder. And if you look at here, you will see that it has a size. So you can say that the radius is, this thing was 10 by 30. So I'm assuming it's a 10, so radius 5 millimeter. So you type 5 mm. And then the other thing is 30, so 30 mm. And you left everything as follows. So now this is something that is like print size, which makes you realize how gigantic the other objects are. Okay, it's a bit weird, but I don't think that this is totally okay. So I'll do one again. Mesh, cylinder, radius. Yeah, the radius is fine, and the depth is technically okay, but it was probably more like one. Let me check the website. 10 by 5 or 10 by 30. That's strange, but 10 by 5 looks like it. So 10 by 5, 10, that's the radius. So this should be 10 by, oh, I see, it's 5 mm. Okay, great. So this is the size of a 10, like of that magnet. I would recommend to scale it a bit. So for that you go into N, item, and you, on the scale, you say 1.05 on every axis. You can change the size and all of that there too, and then you press N again, you hide the menu. Now I will scale this Jesus to be like fridge magnet friendly size. I'll scale the Buddha too for the same thing. These were too big, guys. I'll put it in the size here. I'll go to the top, put it here. It's still quite large. Actually gigantic. But this should be a good enough size for that magnet. And I'll make sure they are colliding with each other, kind of like overlapping each other. You could again use the control option Q, the quad view, to check this out. but I think this is working fine now. So Control Q, and I go out, and now I can use this to take out a piece of the Jesus. So select that object, Shift select the Jesus, Control Shift B, and then do difference. And now you have something that you can just directly print and add a magnet. I made the magnet a bit larger so it could fit. It had some play so it could actually fit the market, the Amazon market, which is very nice. Now about the Buddha thing. So you can get some like ideas of printing size and things like that. There is a measuring tool here. You can use that there. That tells me that this head is, I'm sorry, I'm a metric person, but it's 0.5 meters. That's quite large, 50 centimeters. My inches are not that great, but that's about practically double the height of what a 3D printer can print. So I will make it a bit smaller and do the other thing that I wanted to check with you. I know it's weird that it says that even though that Jesus head is so large. But I'll hide the Jesus head and concentrate now on the Buddha. Now for the Buddha thing, we discussed in class this issue of booleans, right? So I could do cube, make the cube smaller. There is this option of the X-rays, and put the cube here, and we will build, we will carve this out, okay? But we will also add a mesh that is going to be a grid object that I will use as a cutout. Why do I want a cutout, and why do I want a grid? Because I want to cut it in a way that should work as a mold. Okay, so I'm following some lines here. Great. Now, why a grid? Because grids have parts. So actually I can go into the grid, add a modifier of subdivision, simple style, do 2, Command A to add it, and now I can just go into sculpting, turn on transparency, and or actually, ooh, a rat. Disable the cube, turn off transparency, and just start using the push function from the sculpting tool to sort of look at how the sculpture should work out. I think like that. I'm trying to avoid undercuts basically. It's true that you can do stuff with smooth and things like that, but you still want to avoid that. And I think that should be a decent mold, sort of. It's an example, right? But this shouldn't come out that bad. Great. Once you have it, those kind of things you see when they like do that turn, that's something that you want to avoid. Yeah, that's pretty good. Great. Now, once you have this, I'll add some other subdivisions. So simple deform, subdivision surface, simple, a couple, go back here. Actually, Catmull Clark is better. And press Command A, and now the thing's done. And we'll add another modifier, which is a solidify modifier that will make it a bit thick, because you cannot cut with objects that don't have any thickness. And I will press Command A to apply it, And now I shall use that. I will bring back the cube and I will cut, go back into layout, take out the X-ray, and I will select this, select the cube, Control Shift B, and do difference. Now the cube is separated, which is great. Now I will separate those pieces though. For that I need to go into edit mode, that is tab, press A, press P, and choose loose parts. And now I have, amazing, I have a cube there and a cube here. But I still haven't used the Buddha to take out some stuff, to take out the rest, right? So I will check the Buddha head. I will make a copy because I lose an object every time I use it to cut something. And I will shift select the cube. I will do Control Shift B, difference. I will select it again, select the other side of the cube, do Control Shift B, difference. And now I should have two molds from the Buddha head. Pretty good. Of course, how do we add something to this? We will need to do a cone or a cylinder or whatever. Like a cone is technically the simplest form. But it still needs a funnel. So you do E, S, G, Z, which is like a fancy say of saying like you extrude the thing around, and I'll make it emanate wisdom or concrete or whatever to the top of the head. And I'm gonna do it only on one side of the mold, so select this object, select the side of the mold, Control Shift B, difference. And it's good to have some outlets because when you start pouring stuff, you might get some gas bubbles on things, especially like, I don't know, that nose might get gas bubbles and things like that. So you might want to add some another cylinder. Press S to make it smaller, press S and Z to make it longer, and I will add some bends. So that will be a bend. I will try not to add bends to the face, because that would be kind of cruel. So shift, difference, and good. It should work. So that's how you use booleans. So now we have that you can print a lot of things here. You can print these two things. You can print the, looking for my, yeah. Now we have two objects. One is this Jesus magnet. And this is the Buddha mold. Incidentally, you can also do a Jesus magnet, like a mold of that Jesus magnet, if you just added a cube, placed the cube on top of this part, made a copy of the Jesus. Selected that. Press Control Shift B. I'm gonna keep this copy, but Control Shift B, difference, and that's an open Jesus mold. Press everything because you don't want that though, and press P and those parts, and now you have this part that you can delete, and you have a mold of the Jesus face. So you can make your choice there of what you want. Of course, don't print the whole cube if you're doing a mold of that face. Try to keep it small. It's not good for chocolate. And in this case, it might get rotten because there is some undercutting going on. but it is a good experiment. So good. I hope you enjoy this fun experiment.